Welcome back for another episode of the Sports Playbook, where I'll be giving you a rundown of what's been happening in the world of sport over the last 7 days. You're joined by your host D-Moz. Once again, there has been a lot happening in the world of sport over the last 7 days, so let's not miss a beat and let's get right into it. In athletics, Lachie Kennedy becomes only the second Australian to run the 100 metres in under 10 seconds. The 21-year-old recorded a 9.98 100 metre with a tailwind of 0.7 metres, meaning it's a legal run. With that run, the 21-year-old joins an exclusive club that Gout and Rowan Browning are not even a part of yet. That's to go under the 10-second barrier. The only other Australian to achieve under the 10-second barrier was Patrick Johnson with a 9.93 run back in Japan in 2003. Far out, that was a while ago. In the NRL, the New South Wales Blues take out Game 1 of the Men's State of Origin. Up at Suncorp Stadium at a sellout crowd, the Blues dominated the first game. They took control and they took on the Maroons, beating them 18-6. Queensland were looking for answers, but their ill-disciplined performance let the New South Wales Blues back into the contest, and they were on the back foot very early. Payne Haas was named man of the match for his performance, and Zach Lomax scored 2 tries for the Blues. In a devastating blow for the Blues, Mitch Barnett has suffered a ruptured ACL in the recent club game for the Warriors. That means he'll be out for the rest of the season and he'll miss the rest of the State of Origin series, meaning that the Blues will have to find his replacement before Game 2, and that game is on June 18th in Perth. Also in the NRL, Queensland take out the final game in the Women's State of Origin series. In front of 21,900 fans in Newcastle, the Blues were looking to clean sweep the series. The Blues were up by 8 points with 20 minutes to go, but Queensland found a way through the Blues' defence. With pride on the line, the Maroons came away victorious in this contest and avoided the clean sweep. The Blues still lifted the shield on home soil, winning the series 2-1. In football, the Matildas have finally announced their new coach after a 10-month search. As previously rumoured, it is now official, Joe Montemurro is now the new Matildas coach. Montemurro has said that the Matildas are one of the best brands in the world. Montemurro's resume is impressive, with his last 3 stints over in Europe being for clubs such as Arsenal, Juventus and Lyon. Lyon is where current Matildas defender Ellie Carpenter is playing her club football. It comes as the Matildas are going to 3 huge campaigns over the next 3 years. The Asian Cup in 2026, the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2027 and the LA 28 Olympics in 2028. It also came as Matilda's interim coach Tom Sermanni racked up his 150th game as head coach for the Matildas. Sermanni has coached the Matildas over a 3-stint period. The Matildas also celebrated 2 wins in a friendly series up against Argentina, winning 2-0 in Melbourne and winning 4-1 in Canberra in front of a sold-out 25,000 strong crowd. Also in football, Melbourne City take out the A-League Men's Grand Final, taking out their cross-city rivals, Melbourne Victory. Melbourne City won the grand final 1-0 after a first half goal in front of 29,000 fans at Melbourne's Amy Park. Melbourne City star Matthew Leckie looks like he went toe-to-toe with a boxer after splitting his nose after an accidental boot to the face during the match. In basketball, the Pacers and OKC Thunder are through to the NBA Finals. The Pacers are off to the finals after a 25-year drought. The Pacers squashed the dreams of the New York Knicks fans after coming away with a victory in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Pacers beat the Knicks 125-108 to take the series 4-2. And in the Western Conference, OKC, otherwise known as Oklahoma City Thunder, are through to the finals for the first time since 2012. That's 2 droughts for both teams. OKC Thunder sealed a 4-1 series win over the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference. The first game of the NBA Finals will be on Friday, the 6th of June. In the AFL, Callan Ward inspires the GWS Giants in an impressive win over Richmond. The veteran midfielder came off early in the first quarter, and unfortunately, scans have confirmed the veteran has suffered an ACL injury. In a devastating blow for Ward, he has likely played his last game of AFL. Down by as much as 28 points going into the final quarter, Ward rallied his GWS Giants teammates and addressed them going into the break. GWS held the Tigers goalless in that fourth quarter, and they pulled off a 37-point turnaround to win the match 80-77. The win puts the Giants into 7th spot on the ladder. In other games, the Adelaide Crows have dispatched the Sydney Swans in a 90-point thrashing. The Swans sit 14th on the ladder and are seeing their finals chances slip through their fingers. In other games, the Fremantle Dockers pulled off a gutsy victory over the fast-finishing Gold Coast Suns to win by 11 points. The win sees the Dockers sitting 8th on the ladder. In netball, whilst I might sound like a broken record, the New South Wales Swifts remain undefeated in season 2025 with their 8th victory in a row. Down by as much as 8 in the third quarter, the Swifts clawed back the lead. The momentum shifted for the Swifts. In the first play of the fourth quarter, co-captain Matty Turner had a game-changing intercept. The crowd responded, and so did the Swifts. The Swifts rallied and won 66-64 over the Adelaide Thunderbirds. In other matches, the Lightning held off a fast-finishing Melbourne Mavericks to win 67-60. The Vixens took down the Giants 71-61. But the talking point to come from the match was the return of the former Silver Ferns captain and Centurion Casey Kapua. Kapua retired in 2019 and is the Giants' temporary replacement player for Jodie Ann Ward. The West Coast Fever were too classy for the Queensland Firebirds. They won 82-65. In cricket, Glenn Maxwell retires from the ODI format. The Big Show, as he's more affectionately known, has retired after a 13-year career spanning 149 games in the ODI format. He made his debut back in August of 2012 and has scored 3,990 runs. He has an average of 33.81 and he has a strike rate of 126. He will always be remembered for one of the most memorable innings by an ODI player, scoring a double century against Afghanistan in the 2023 ODI World Cup. He will still be available though for the Aussie T20 international format. And with that, we will take a short break and after get into the burning rubber breakdown. It's time for the burning rubber breakdown. Let's burn it up. Oscar Piastri wins the Spanish Grand Prix and holds on to his championship lead. Before the Grand Prix had even started, Lance Stroll had withdrawn himself from the race after he battled pain in his wrist. Back in 2023, Stroll suffered a fractured wrist, hand, and his toe after a cycling accident just before the start of the season. He had emergency surgery and he returned 2 weeks later with screws in his wrist, but it seems that injury has caught back up to him. Meanwhile, on Sunday's race, Oscar Piastri started from the pole, had the perfect start and led going into turn 1. But it was what was going on behind him that was causing controversy. Kimi Antonelli, the Mercedes driver, was out of the race with about 10 laps to go due to an engine failure. There was a safety car. On the restart, with 6 laps to go, Verstappen very nearly lost control of his car, and Charles Leclerc took the opportunity to get past him into 3rd place. George Russell also tried to take the opportunity, but George and Max made contact going into turn 1. Verstappen went down the escape road and was still ahead going into the next corner. A couple of laps later, Verstappen was instructed to give the place back to Russell. Verstappen resisted this, but Verstappen invited Russell to go around the outside of the next corner, but drove right into the side of Russell's car in a moment that can only be described as aggressive and frustrated at the general situation. Verstappen post-race received 3 penalty points on his licence, which means he's now on 11 penalty points. Which means if he receives one more penalty point before the end of June, he will receive a race ban and no doubt be out of the championship contention. But yes, Piastri took the win ahead of his teammate Lando Norris, and Charles Leclerc finished off the podium in third place. Piastri holds onto the championship lead by 10 points to his teammate Lando Norris. That is the burning rubber breakdown for the week. And with that, it's time to get into your fast fact for a pub chat. It's time to pull yourself a chair and pour yourself a drink. It's this week's fast fact for a pub chat. And this week's fast fact is from Formula One. Did you know that Oscar Piastri is only the third McLaren driver in history to stand on the podium 8 times in a row? Only 2 other drivers have achieved this success. Ayrton Senna, a 3-time F1 world champion, and Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time F1 world champion. Oscar is on fire at the moment, and if you're missing out, I highly recommend you jump on the Oscar train before it departs. That is this week's fast fact for a pub chat, and now it's time for the final segment. It is the Playbook Planner. Here are some matches to look out for this weekend. In football, the Socceroos take on Japan on Thursday, the 5th of June, 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. You can catch this live on Channel 10. In the AFL, the Crows will take on the Lions on Friday, the 6th of June at 7:40 p.m. You can catch this on Channel 7, KO or Foxtel. In the netball, the New South Wales Swifts will take on the West Coast Fever. This is on Saturday, the 7th of June at 7 p.m. and you can catch this on KO, Foxtel or Binge. In Super Rugby, it's the finals. It's the qualifying final for the ACT Brumbies up against the Wellington Hurricanes. It's on Saturday, the 7th of June at 7:45 p.m. and it's live on Channel 9 and on Stan Sport. In tennis, the French Open finals are on this weekend. We have the women's singles on Saturday, the 7th of June and the men's singles on Sunday, the 8th of June. You can catch these live on Channel 9 or stream it on Stan Sport. In the NRL, the Tigers take on the Panthers. For Jerome Luai, it's the first time that he'll go up against his former team and halves partner, Nathan Cleary. This is on Sunday, the 8th of June at 4:05 p.m. You can catch the game on Channel 9, KO or Foxtel. Also in the NRL, the Bulldogs will take on the Eels in the King's Birthday Clash on Monday, the 9th of June, starting at 4 p.m. You can catch it on KO Sports or Foxtel. And finally, cricket. It's the World Test Championship. It's Australia up against South Africa. It's from Wednesday, the 11th of June to Sunday, the 16th of June, and you can catch this only on Amazon Prime. And with that, we have come to the end of today's show. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next play.